So I accidentally ended the last video and now this is kind of like part two, which is good because that video was a little long. It's like 8 minutes. Sorry. Anyway, so I've connected everything, right? Again, I connected all the points. Now what do we have to do? Relative maxima, minima, and a couple other things, okay? So I'm going to just tell you what's kind of remaining here. We need the relative maxima, minima, right? Whatever they are. We also need the sign and leading coefficient, which is pretty easy to get. And we need the end behavior, okay? We talked about end behavior yesterday. So here we go. What do we need to do now? How do I get the relative maxima minima? Well, if you look at the graph, it's kind of like somewhere there for the relative maxima, and the relative minima is kind of like somewhere there. But kind of like is not good enough for us because we are mathematicians and we're smarter than that. So what are we going to do? We're going to actually find it exactly. So let me teach you how to do that. So what you do here is we know that look, the relative maxima is right there, okay? So what I'm going to do is hit trace. Okay, trace. When you hit trace, the calculator puts you on the polynomial, okay? So you're gonna move, look, see I'm hitting this button here, the left. I'm gonna move it left or right, wherever. I'm gonna put it right where the maxima is. It's right there. Then you're gonna hit second trace. The whole point is, again, one more time, you press trace so that you can move, okay? That's what I did, I pressed trace. And then once I'm there, second trace. What button do you think I'm going to pick here if I want to know a relative maximum? Yeah, maximum. Okay, now you see where it says left bound. Go a little to the left. Pick a little bit to the left, okay? A little bit to the left. Boom. Right bound. Go to the right of the middle. So there's the middle. Don't stop there. Go a little bit to the right. That's enough, okay? By the way, I'm sorry. I should go back, okay? I did not show you what I was pressing before. So what I'm pressing here is enter every time I move. So left bound, sorry I didn't say that. Press enter, okay? Enter. Right bound. That's good enough. Press enter. And now it says guess. Press enter. Okay, so look, the calculator is going to give you decimals, okay, for the coordinate. I am satisfied with you telling me that coordinate to the nearest tenth. So to the nearest tenth, the relative maxima would be, let's see, so that would be, that would be negative 3 point, now nearest tenth, 36, should be 0.4, okay, comma, 10.4. Do you guys see that? Comma 10.4. Okay, 10.4. So you don't have to label the relative maxima here. You just need to label it on the side, okay? I need to see it on the side. I need to know that you know where it is. Is that okay? Is that good? Again, now we're going to get at the relative minima if there's relative minima. So if there's relative minima, what am I going to do? The same thing. I'm going to hit trace. I'm going to hit trace and I'm going to hold it down. Okay, I'm holding it down because I don't feel like, right? I don't feel like doing that. So I'm just going to hold it down. So once I'm there, boom, I'm there. What do I do? Second trace, okay? Second trace. Now we go to, what do you guys think? Maximum again? No, minimum, right? Because it's a minimum. Left bound, a little to the left. Oops, sorry. Okay, let's try that again. So I make mistakes. Yes, sorry. A little to the left, which is where I am. Enter. Okay, I'm supposed to press enter. A little bit to the right. Remember, don't stop at the middle. Go a little to the right. That's a mistake that a lot of people make. Okay, go a little to the right. Enter. Guess? Yeah, press enter. Let's guess. There we go. So to the nearest tenth, let's write that down. To the nearest tenth. 0.7, so 0.7, comma what? Whoops, the lighting. Negative 6.3, okay? So this is good enough for me. You tell me that, relative maxima minima, we label it, okay? And we're good to go. What are the other things that we need? So again, just to summarize, we got the zeros, okay? We got the y-intercept, we got the relative max minima. I got my table of values, really pretty. These two things, leading coefficient and behavior, and one more thing in the middle, okay? Even or odd degree. I forgot to mention that. So by the way, these three things are from Friday. These three things are from Friday, okay? So let's get at the end behavior. End behavior. As x goes to positive infinity, which means as we look going this way to the right, okay? What is happening to my y values? End behavior is really nice if you kind of put a box around the arrows. That's going to help you tremendously. So as I go to the right, to infinity, look at my box up there. This function is going all the way up. It's going like that. Out, 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 out. Okay? So as I go to positive infinity, my f of x, which is my y values, is going to positive infinity. Okay? Then as I go to negative infinity, which means I'm going this way, this way, this way. Look at my y values. They're going like this. Okay? Again, look how I put a box around the arrow. So that is negative infinity. You guys see that? So the answer would be over here as x goes to negative infinity, f of x goes to negative infinity. Okay? So that's end behavior. I'm going to put a box around that. That is end behavior, that whole thing. Okay? You need two pieces. The positive end, as x goes to positive infinity, what happens? And as x goes to negative infinity, what happens? Okay? For every function, you will always have that. Look, you will always have this as x goes to positive infinity and x goes to negative infinity. What will change is always going to be this part, the f of x, because it depends on your function. What if I had it that it went like this, right? Like this. What if it went like this? And then, pa. It would be the opposite. It would be negative infinity there and positive infinity. So always look at your graph for that part, okay? Even or odd degree, we talked about that. There's two ways to figure this out. First off, if you look at the graph, look at the arms. The arms are going in what? Same direction or opposite direction? Opposite direction. So again, from Friday, we know that that's odd. Also, if you look at the factors here, if you were to multiply this times this, what would be the highest power? The highest exponent? 3, okay? So that's odd. That's two ways. Then the sign of the leading coefficient. Well, that's kind of obvious. The leading coefficient, they give it to you there. It's 1/2. So clearly the sign is positive. They give you that, okay? So that is how you graph a polynomial. You have other ones there to practice with. The process is the same. So I'm just gonna summarize. Okay, I'm not gonna do this one. I will do one more though. Okay, I will do another one. It's on the other side. Again, the process is the same. You want to start out with what? The zeros, okay? That's what I started out with. Then I looked at the graph and I looked at the table because I put this in the calculator and I looked at the table. Once I know where my zeros are, I was like, okay, let's try to pick maybe 1 or 2 points to the left and 1 or 2 points to the right, okay? That is enough. Then I copy the table of values over. Once I have the table of values, okay, I plotted points, okay? I plotted points there, like here, 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 there, there, there. I plotted all of these points, okay? And then I connected them. Again, I want the y-intercept always. Relative maximum minima, how do we do that? We use trace, and then second trace, etc., right? If it's a minimum, right? Okay, so we already run through that process. End behavior, I talked about on Friday. Even or odd degree was talked about yesterday, and sign of the leading coefficient was also talked about yesterday. So you need all of this to make this graph for a polynomial. Now, this is really nice because they give it to you factored, okay? We're going to look at one more example. I'm going to kind of rush through the next example, though. This one, I broke it down step by step. The next one, I'm going to have kind of everything done for you there already, okay? So look out for the next video. I'm going to send that one in a little bit, okay? All right, guys.